Hi, welcome to another 30-minute intermediate stroke advanced flow. And today we'll start standing. So just make sure that your feet are right below your hip bones. Take your hands to heart center and then just close your eyes and begin to connect with your breath. In and out through the nose. Your opportunity to tap into your Ujjayi breathing if that's in your practice. Feel grounded, stay nice and long in the spine. And then take the arms down by your sides. Open your eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, just as you exhale, just flop down, bend into the knees as if you're kind of releasing all the tension from all of your body. Just let the arms flop down as you exhale. You can open your mouth and exhale in this. Good. Let any tension out. And then the next time you come down, aeroplane the arms out. So your palms face down, you're squeezing your triceps and you're staying low in your chair pose. And then take the arms up and then sweep them back out. And inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, aeroplane the arms. Keeping a nice deep bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep them in front. Exhale, take them behind. Good, and then stay there, and then exhale, forward fold. Taking opposite elbow with opposite hand, and then just swaying into it, swaying from side to side, bending into one knee and then the other. Any movement here that feels good. And then release the hands. And continue to bend into alternate knees, and then step the feet back behind you, coming into our downward facing dog. Good. And then we'll pedal out the feet here. So really stretching into the side body as you come onto each side, swaying the hips, bending really deeply into one leg and then the other. Pressing alternate heels into the ground. Good. And then inhale, sweep the right leg up, flex the foot, point the toes down so you know the hip is square, and then begin to open the hip. Bend that right knee, open the hip, and then make some rotating circles with the ankle. A few times in one direction and then change direction. Straighten out through the leg again and set that right foot down. Coming onto the other side, so inhale, sweep that left foot up, keep the hip square to begin with, pointing the toes down. And then begin to open up through the hip and bend into that left knee, taking some ankle circles a few times in one direction and a few times in the other direction. And straighten up through the leg and bring that foot back down. So you're in downward facing dog again. Inhale, sweep the right leg back up. This time exhale and step the right foot in between the hands. Keep the hands down on the ground. You're in your low lunge, and then look forward and begin to straighten out through this right leg. Bring your forehead in towards your knee. And then inhale, low lunge, come forward, bend into the knee, look up. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, low lunge, bend into the knee. Exhale, straighten the leg as much as you can. Doesn't have to be completely straight if you're not there. Inhale, low lunge, look up. Good. And then step that foot back into plank. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga to come down. Inhale, upward facing dog, look up, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, downward facing dog. taking it over to the other side. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Exhale, bring that foot in between the hands. Come onto the fingertips. Get nice and low. And then look ahead of you. And then start to straighten out through that left leg, bringing the forehead in towards the shin. And then inhale back to our low lunge. Look up. Exhale, straighten through the left leg. Inhale, bending, low lunge. Exhale, straightening. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale. And then step that foot back, coming into plank. Inhale, exhale to come down through chaturanga. Inhale, flip over the feet, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Good. And then roll forward into a plank. Come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Do that a couple more times. Really articulate through the spine as you roll forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Make sure you're not holding any tension in the neck. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, roll out to plank. And then this time, exhale all the way down to the mat. Really hugging the elbows in. And then as you take an inhale, roll up to cobra. Head comes up last. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale, rolling up to cobra. Keeping the feet down into the ground. Inhale, roll up to cobra. Exhale, roll down. Good. And then take the fingertips and take them off to the sides. Elbows point upwards. Inhale, push gently into the fingertips to come up. And then exhale, dip the right shoulder to center of the mat as you look over your left shoulder. So nice shoulder stretch. Inhaling back through center. Exhale, this time dip your left shoulder into the center of the mat as you look behind you over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, coming all the way back down. Bring your hands back in towards the chest. Tuck under the toes. Pick the legs up off the ground and then see if you can, in one piece, just come all the way up to plank. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. If you can't come up in one piece, you can take the knees down. Not a problem. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, bring the right knee towards right shoulder, not shoulder, forearm. Inhale, sweep the right foot up. Exhale, right knee, left forearm. Inhale, sweep the leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that foot in between the hands. We're back in our low lunge. Look forward. Exhale, straighten through that right leg. Fold in. And then come up to a halfway lift. Plant that left hand down into the mat. And then sweep that right arm up. So we're stacking the shoulders. We're coming into our twisting lunge. Or twisting triangle, revolve triangle. So you can bring that back heel down just to give you a bit more stability. Coming back. Bending into that front knee again. Taking that back heel down. Foot is at 45 degrees. We're coming up into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Arms come up, and then as you exhale, bring the hands to reverse prayer, or you can just bring the fists together behind you. Straighten through that front leg again. Take a big inhale and just lean back, coming into a back bend. And then as you exhale, fold forward as much as you can. If you're only coming halfway, that's fine. Try and keep that right leg straight, but avoid locking the knee out. We're trying to keep the hips square. And then we'll come up again, bend into that knee. And then we're going to come into a warrior 3 with reverse prayer. So try and keep the hips square by keeping the back toes pointing down. So your left toes should be pointing down towards the mat. Stay focused, and then release the reverse prayer, bringing the fingertips down onto the mat, coming into our standing splits. So you can stay here with your hands on the ground, or maybe wrap your right hand behind your calf. Try and bring your forehead towards your shin. And if you want an added extra, you can maybe try and come in for a balance by bringing both hands to the back of the calf. But it's really hard. I was struggling with that. And then gently take that back leg back down. And then inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, keeping the elbows hugging in. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking it to the other side. But we'll rest here for a few breaths first. When you're ready, inhale, sweep that left leg up. Exhale, left knee, left forearm. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, right forearm. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that foot in between the hands. Stay nice and low in our low lunge with the fingertips on the mat. And then as you exhale, straighten through that leg, that left leg. Plant the right hand down onto the mat. You can spin that back foot down for stability, coming into our revolved triangle. So sweeping the right arm up and over so that your shoulders are stacked. Keep the hips square so we're hugging the left hip in towards us. Look up at the top thumb only if it's not painful for your neck, otherwise you can keep looking down. And release out of the twist. Bend into that front knee again and come up into Virabhadrasana 1. Keep the tailbone tucking under. Keep engaged in the lower abdomen. Keep the hips square. And then we'll come into reverse prayer, or again, you can just take your fists to touch. Straighten through that front leg. Take a big inhale, lean back. Maybe look up. And then as you exhale, keep the length in the spine, come forward into a forward fold with reverse prayer hands. Good, breathe here. Keep the hips square and then come up to halfway, bend into this front knee just to help hop up into our warrior 3. So again, spin those back toes so they're pointing downwards. So your right toes are pointing down. Spine is parallel with the ground. Nice and strong standing leg. Breathe. Release the reverse prayer. Bring the fingertips down onto the ground. Coming into our standing splits. You can keep the hands down on the ground, or you can grab hold of the back of the calf with your left hand, drawing your nose in towards the shin. And then maybe practice with a bit of balance here. Maybe you can bring both hands to the back of the calf. It's challenging. Gently step that back foot down. Plant the hands. Inhale to plank. Exhale, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. And inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, bring the right knee towards the right elbow, and then take it over to the left elbow. Bring it down to the left wrist. Take it over to the right wrist. Bring it up to the right elbow and take it back. That's challenging. We're going to do it again. You're drawing a square. So right knee, right elbow, over to the left elbow, down to the left wrist, back to the right wrist, hoik it up to the right elbow and take it back. Three-legged dog. And then exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Straighten out through the right leg. You'll go onto the fingertips still. Hugging the hips together. Bend back into that front knee. Spin the back heel down so you're coming into our warrior one again. Keep the hips nice and square, pulling that left hip forward. Let's take our reverse prayer again. Straighten through that front leg. Inhale to lean back. Exhale to fold forward with straight legs. Bend back into that front knee. Hop up so you're coming into our warrior three, standing on the right leg. Release the hands. And this time we're coming into half moon. So take the right fingertips down onto the ground. And then stack the hips, stack the shoulders. Flex that lifted foot. So you're flexing the left foot. And then option here to take Chapasana or sugarcane pose by grabbing hold of the top of the foot and then kicking the foot into the hand. And if this is too much, you can stay in your half moon pose. Okay, gently release, bringing that left hand back down, walking the hands in towards that right foot, coming into standing splits, and then gently take the left leg back down. Inhale to plank, exhale, chaturanga, inhale, up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. And we'll move on to the other side. Inhale, left leg sweeps up, exhale, left knee, left elbow, take it over to the right elbow, bring it down to the right wrist, take it over to the left wrist, hoik it up to the right elbow, coming back to our three-legged dog. We'll do that one more time. Left knee, left elbow, take it to the right elbow, take it down to the right wrist, take it over to the left wrist, bring it up to the left elbow, and then sweep the leg back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the foot in between the hands, fingertips on the ground, straighten through that left leg, fold forward. And then bending into the left knee, taking the back heel down, warrior one. So the back foot is at 45 degrees, foot is clamped down onto the mat. Nice deep bend in the front knee, hips square. And then coming into reverse prayer, or just bringing the fists in towards each other, or you can grab hold of opposite elbow with opposite hand. Inhaling, lean back, look up, straighten through that left leg again. Exhale, forward fold. keep hugging that left hip back, right hip forward. So we're squaring off the hips. Come up, bend into that front knee, and we'll hop up, standing on the left leg, coming into our warrior 3, hip square, right toes point down. Release the hands, bring the left fingertips onto the mat, open the hips, open the shoulders, coming into our half moon pose. The right foot is flexed. And then again, you're welcome to stay here, or you can bend into that right knee, grab hold of the top of the foot with your right hand, and then kick the foot into the hand. Chapasana. A really juicy stretch here. And slowly release. Bring the right fingertips down onto the mat and come into your standing splits. And then gently pop the right foot back down onto the mat. Inhale, plank. Exhale, come down all the way onto the mat. Untuck the toes. Clasp the hands behind your back. And then as you inhale, lift the chest up off the mat. And you can just stay with chest lifted, or you can lift the feet up, lift the legs up, off the mat as well. Squeezing the shoulders together. Keeping the neck nice and long, so avoid throwing your head back too much. And release, taking a cheek to the mat and breathing. And then you can come into the same variation, or we can take upward facing bow, grabbing hold of the ankles or the tops of the feet, and then as you inhale, kick the feet into the hands, lift up through the chest, lift the shoulders, lift the thighs off the mat, and take a few breaths here. Try and squeeze the knees in as much as you can. Good, and release. Bringing the cheek down to the mat again. Breathing here. Good. Bring the hands down onto the mat at chest level. Tuck under the toes and see if you can come up into plank in one piece, and then take it back, downward facing dog. Bend into the knees, look forward, and hop the feet to the outside of the hands, coming into Malasana, our yogic squat. And then just roll the head from side to side, taking some neck rolls. Really bringing the hands to heart center and really pushing the knees open with your elbows. Make a nice long spine. Try not to round too much in the upper back. And then bringing the hands down onto the mat. Stand up, heel toe the feet together, and then crouch down again. We're going to come into a little twist. So bring both hands to the left of the mat. Tuck your right elbow to the outside of the left leg, and then bringing the hands to heart center. You can stay here in this twist, or you can maybe practice side crow if that's in your practice. Come forward. You can either take the knee and the hip down onto this shelf you've made with your elbows, or you can have the hip floating, which is more difficult. Maybe scissor the legs open if vinyasa is in your practice, and then come down. Straighten out through the legs, forward fold, opposite elbow with opposite hand, and just shake it out before we come onto the other side. Crouch back down. Take the right elbow to the outside, left elbow to the outside of the right knee, hands to heart center. You can stay here in this twist, or take both hands down and lean forward, either with your hip floating and just the knee on the left elbow, or you can take the knee and the hip down onto each elbow. Scissor the legs open if kundinyasa is in your practice. Come back to side crow. And slowly come out. Good job. That's a tough one. And then come all the way down to sit. Take the feet to mat width. Lean back into your hands. And then just windshield wiper the legs from left to right. Good. And we'll come into Supta, no, not Supta, just Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, draw the heels in towards you. And then just give the arches of your feet a bit of a massage. And then grab hold of the feet. Take a big inhale, find as much length in the spine and space between the vertebrae as you can. And then keep the length in the spine, fold forward any amount. Gently pushing the knees open with your elbows as you come down. Breathe. And then slowly begin to come up. Bring the knees together. Roll out the wrists. So just make a fist and then just roll out the wrists a few times in one direction and a few times in the other. Good. And then we're going to do a little bit of core. So coming into your Navasana, boat pose, either legs bent or legs straight. Try not to round in the spine. Palms face up. We're going to come down into low boat and then take it back to boat. Do that a few times, coming low boat, straighten through the legs and back to boat. Come down, low boat, boat, low boat. Feel the burn in the core. Keep engaged, keep breathing. Take it down, bring it back up, and then cross over at the ankles. See if you can jump back to chaturanga, or you can just step back. Inhale, up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, right leg sweeps up. Exhale, coming into pigeon pose. So set yourself up here if you need to. Put a block or blanket underneath your right hip, just to square off the hips you can. You don't have to come all the way down like I am. You can stay up or stay on the forearms. Breathe here in your pigeon pose. Unclench if you're finding yourself clenching in that hip. And then come back up. And we're going to play around with some mermaid poses. So grab hold of the top of that left foot. And then bring the foot into the crook of your elbow. Coming into mermaid pose. If this is all too much, you can stay in just traditional pigeon. I'm going to do a little bit of king pigeon pose here. So flipping the grip. Keeping hold of the foot with both hands. This takes a lot of shoulder flexibility and back flexibility. So if it's not in your practice, please don't just try and do this because you'll injure yourself. And release. Good. Plant the hands, tuck the left toes under and sweep that right leg back up. Let the back of the knee breathe. And we'll come on to the other side. So inhale, sweep that left leg up. Exhale, bring it into pigeon. Get yourself situated. Get your padding underneath that left hip if you need it. And then come down any amount. You can stay up on the forearms or come all the way down. Forehead comes down to the mat. And breathe here. Again, if you're finding yourself with any tension or clenching, just try to breathe and release. You can stay down or come up. Bend into that back leg. Grab hold of the top of the foot. And see if you can shimmy that foot into the crook of the right elbow. Clasp the fingertips together, coming into mermaid. Try and keep the chest pointing forward. And then if king pigeon is in your practice, begin to flip the grip. I know that on this side I'm way tighter, so you can see in my face that it's a bit of a struggle. Breathe. We're always a bit tighter on one side than the other, but make no judgments. Slowly release out. Plant the hands down, tuck under the right toes, sweep that left leg back up, let the back of the knee breathe. And then set the knees down, wide-legged child's pose. So knees are mat width apart, toes touch behind you. And then I always find it a bit restorative to kind of thread the arms in between the legs and set one of the cheeks down on the mat. And breathe here. And come up. Just take the legs out in front of you. Take the legs out long. Just peel the flesh out from underneath you. Take a little twist from side to side just to neutralize through the spine. And then inhale, get nice and long. Take the arms up. And exhale with hinging forward at the hips. And coming into our Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold. Breathing here, keeping those toes flexing in towards you. And then slowly begin to rise. And roll all the way onto your back. Take the arms out to a T and take both knees over to the right. You can bring your right knee and cross it on top of your left just to give a little bit more of an intense supine twist if that feels good. Otherwise, just keep the legs stacking. Come back up through center and take the knees over to the other side. And on this side, you can bring your left leg on top of your right knee, just to make the twist a little bit more intense, a little bit deeper. And release. Hug the knees into the chest. And then, well done, come down into your Shavasana. Take the legs out long, let the feet fall open, palms face up. Close the eyes. Just pick up the shoulder blades up off the mat and set them back down again. And come to a natural breath. A well-deserved Shavasana. Stay here for as long as you need to. Release the breath. If you liked this class, click subscribe, and I'll be posting more as soon as possible. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.